breadwinner, you can be a breadwinner. Girl, go and get that, you can achieve that. Be a breadwinner, you can be a breadwinner. Girl, go and get that, you can achieve that.
So welcome to Breadwinning Wednesday. I am so glad that you are here with me. Also, welcome, Trina. Thank you for joining us. I am excited about today's topic because it is one that we have not touched on before that I think is very present on the mind of my women service providers. And so I really wanted to bring this forth today and really help you with being able to get bigger results for your clients. Now, I bet that you love what you do. Give me a T for true in the chat if that's true for you, that you love what you do, you care about your clients deeply, and you want to create big wins for them. But what do you do when your clients aren't creating great results from your services? That's what we're going to talk about today. And if you are new to the Breadwinning Women Community, then welcome. I'm Jamila Payne. Welcome to another edition of Breadwinning Wednesday, where we help service-based entrepreneurs use simple systems to sell and deliver a high-end signature service so you can grow your revenue, serve more clients, and work less. Today, we are going to talk about 3 ways to support your clients in creating massive results in whatever it is that you do. Okay, so if you notice that your clients aren't creating results, and I know that this is important for you because you're great at what you do and you want to be able to keep your clients happy. Now, certainly having clients work with you and not having them to get the results that you would like for them to have can make you feel like there's something wrong with you, or you're doing something wrong, or there's something flawed in your services, or something flawed in the way that you're going about it. If you've ever felt that, or if that resonates at all, give me a 1 in the chat. I want you to know that it is not you at all. Now, I do believe that we have a responsibility as service providers, and a part of that responsibility is to create the conditions. Oh, write this down. This is so good. Just hit me in the moment. Our responsibility is to create the conditions that will allow our clients to get great results. That means essentially that you want to have a methodology, a proven process in place that your clients can follow. And that setting that up is your job. That is the work that we have to do as 5-star service providers, right? Being top in our game. That's what I mean when I say 5-star, being the best at what you do. So you need to set that up for your clients. You have to have some kind of system, process, methodology that they will follow that will ensure that they will create the results. Now, it's the client's work to make sure that they do the work to get the results, right? One of the things that I often say in our community, and I'm sharing this with you because I want you to think about your onboarding process with clients and how you're welcoming them into your business. You might have heard other people in the online space say things like, they don't accept responsibility for their clients' results. Their clients are responsible for creating their own results. Like, I 100% disagree with that. And so in our orientation process, when we welcome in a new client, like, one of the things that we do is we have an orientation with them. So I would highly recommend that you set up an orientation process for your clients so that you can get them acclimated to your business, so that you can share what the expectations are, so that they know exactly what to look forward to and how things are supposed to go while they're working with you. And so one of the things that we say in our orientation process is that we will provide for you, we tell them, the curriculum, the accountability, and the tools, the templates, the cheat sheets, the swipe files, literally everything that you need in order to take action to create the results in your business. But the one thing I cannot do and won't do, I guess I could do it if I if I really wanted to, but the one thing that I won't do is like show up at their house, especially a lot of our clients are all throughout the United States, right? I'm not going to fly out, show up at their house, knock on the door, try to drag them out of bed and get them to do the work, right? They have to be willing to do the work, but it's up to us to have some type of proven process system methodology that you are working your clients through. And if you don't have that, then we're going to talk about it, right? We're going to talk about exactly how to set that up in your business. Now, the mistake that I see a lot of women owners making is feeling that the answer to getting greater client results in your business is by you putting in more effort. And so you putting in more effort makes you feel like you got to spend more time with your clients. Oh, if I just spend more time with them, if I just effort harder, right? If I spend more time with my clients, I'll be able to get them better results. But that is not true. I used to think this myself at an earlier phase in my business, because when we first started off with our program, Breadwinners Mastermind, we used to have a lot of one-on-one with me, like one-on-one calls every single week and all of that stuff. And that worked great at first. And then what I noticed is over time, people stopped using those one-on-one calls. Like they were getting what they needed in the group sessions. And so I would have like one-on-one office hours set up that people could tap into when they needed it. And there would be plenty of times where nobody was tapping into the one-on-one. It was a big lesson that I thought, and we do this as service providers, like we want to be the answer, right? We want to put on our superhero cape and feel like we're the answer in our business, when the reality is that if you have a really good process set up that you're taking your clients through, then they don't actually need you. Like you do not want to set your business up so that you are the bottleneck in your business. Okay, so I want you to be able to create client results, and I'm going to talk about 3 ways to do it. I want you to be able to create client results because when you have those results, it means referral business, it means testimonials, it means case studies, it means word of mouth, it means bigger opportunities, it means that you can take on or will have the opportunity to take on a larger client base. Okay, you guys are getting value from this so far. Give me a V in the chat for value. I love to hear if there's questions that are coming up for you as we go along. I want this to be an interactive session, so feel free to answer any questions. Feel free to drop any questions in the chat that you have along the way. I'm also, hey, Levon, so glad that you are with us today. I see you over there. And we had a few others join us additionally. Hey, Tamika, I'm so glad that you are here. Lisa's back. And Jovienne, we got a great group over here. Okay, awesome. All right, so let's jump into the 3 ways that you can support your clients. Okay, so number 1 is you want to set up a path for them to reach the goal. One of the things that we teach, and we go really in depth on this inside of Breadwinning Mastermind, is how to set up your own framework. Okay, so a framework is basically a proprietary process, something that you create for your business that walks people through step by step how they're going to get the results. So one of the things that I always teach my clients is that you want to have a promise of transformation. You want to have a specific result that you're promising that they will get in their business when they work with you. High-end buyers are paying for results, right? Like they want the shortcut solution. They want the before and after picture of their life or business. So you need to be able to communicate a tangible transformation that they're going to get. Okay, so that's first. So once you have that tangible transformation, you need to have a path of how to get it. I'll give you a practical example of this. Has anyone ever read Dave Ramsey's book, Total Money Makeover? Or are you familiar with the Dave Ramsey brand? Give me a 2 in the chat if you're familiar with Dave Ramsey and what he teaches around, what do you call it? Financial peace, personal finance, okay? So he has a book called Total Money Makeover, and the book is perfect for anyone that's looking to get out of debt, be able to save and plan to, create wealth in their life, okay? And so he has a specific process that he coined as the 12 baby steps. I believe it's the 12 baby steps. Okay, the 12 baby steps is his proprietary framework or process or path that he takes people through. So he basically says, if you do these 12 steps, then you are going to get the result of having your money made over and achieving financial freedom in your life. And so if you're talking to somebody who's in the Dave Ramsey world, they will be like, I'm on baby step number 3, I'm on baby step number 5, right? And people know exactly what you're talking about because he has a proven methodology. Now, I will say from a personal perspective, I bought that book right after college and I went through those baby steps and I was able to get completely rid of all my college credit card, debt that I had acquired as a student because I didn't know what the heck I was doing as a student. When someone gives you a credit card and a t-shirt, right? You're like, oh, I get a free t-shirt if I sign this thing. Okay, cool. Right. And didn't know what was going on, but I was able to kind of rid myself of that experience by following his proven path and process. And there are literally thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people who can actually say that they have also gone through those baby steps and they have gotten results. So I want you to think about when it comes to your service, does not matter what your service does. He is a personal finance guy. Doesn't matter if you are a legal nurse consultant, if you're a different type of consultant, if you are a professional organizer, if you are a coach, it does not matter what the service is that you provide. You want to have a step-by-step process that if people follow this process, then they will absolutely be able to create results in their business. All right, so let me know, give me a 3 in the chat if you're excited about creating your own type of process, being able to set up a process in your business that your clients can follow. This is something that we teach in depth inside of our Breadwinners Mastermind, but I wanted to share this information with you because it's very important that you have a proven process that you are taking your clients through. Love it. Levon says 3, she's ready to create her own proven process. It's very important that if you want to create big results for your clients, that you have a roadmap that you're taking them through so they know exactly how to get the results that you're promising, okay? So that's step 1, okay? Step 2, the second thing that you want to set up in your business to be able to create bigger client results is that you want to have milestones in your business, okay? These milestones are certain points of achievement. They're objectives that people are going to hit. So I'm just going to continue and use the Dave Ramsey example. So let's just say if you're going through the baby steps, one of the milestones that you want to hit is having $1,000 set up in an emergency fund. That would be an example of a milestone. A person has either done it or they haven't done it, right? Another milestone in his process is that you want to have 6 months of living expenses. You've either hit it or you haven't hit it. So same thing, I want you to think about in your business, what are some milestones that you could have your clients hit so that you know that they're making progress towards whatever the result is that they're paying you for. And if you guys have questions on this, I want you to start typing them in the chat now. We can do an open Q&A in just a minute. So I want you to think about, like, what are some milestones that your clients can hit that would allow them to know and you to know that they are on track for having success in whatever it is that they're paying you for. You don't, people are paying for results. And so you want to make sure that you're able to deliver those results to your clients. Okay, so that's number two. So we talked about setting up a framework, a process, a path that you can take people through, like the 12 baby steps. We talked about having milestones or mile markers, identifiers that you know that they're on the path, that they're doing really well. And the third step in terms of creating bigger results for your clients is you need to be able to identify where the gaps are in your service so that you can provide whatever support is necessary to fill it. Now, I'll give you an example for what we do inside of our program, Breadwinners Mastermind. One of the things that we do is we offer a lot of templates and swipe files. So let's just say, for an example, if we're teaching our clients how to put together a money roadmap, which is a tool that we teach in order for you to be able to have sales projections for your business, knowing how much that you want to bring in every month, every week, every quarter, how many clients that it takes. It breaks it down over a timeline for how to do that, how to achieve those specific results. Okay, so we don't want you to just figure out how to do a money roadmap on your own. We actually design an entire template, and the template has formulas already plugged in. So when you put your numbers inside of the template, it does the calculations for you and gives you the numbers, the math. So I want you to think about, for your services, for what you do, where do you need to provide a template or a cheat sheet or some kind of swipe file? Or maybe you need additional accountability. Maybe it needs to be a point where there's an outreach to you, like a person is filling out a form or saying that this thing is completed. How can you build in accountability and support? What are the gaps where you identify that people are getting stuck in the work that they're doing with you? You have to be able to close the gaps. So how do you know if you have a gap? If you notice in your business, when you are guiding your clients through whatever your service is, if you know that there's a certain place that they just don't take action very quickly, or they delay, they get stuck around doing it, they struggle to get it done. So let's just say, for example, if you were a professional organizer like Phyllis is, I love using a professional organizing example. When you're a professional organizer like Phyllis, let's just say that she was doing a closet makeover for one of her clients. And if she noticed that people were getting stuck when it came to deciding what things they were going to let go, right? Like that's a big one. They were getting stuck around deciding what things they were going to let go. Then she might need to come up with a way to be able to let the clients let go. Like it might be that she has some language around it, just like, Marie Kondo, that's her name, right? Like she came up with some language around that where she says, if it doesn't spark joy, right? So that's a trigger. So you know, like either this thing sparks joy or it doesn't, right? If it doesn't spark joy, then you're gonna, put it in the, donate pile, right? Then that's something that you need to come up with in order to fill in the gaps. Okay, so I want you to put any questions that you have in the chat. There's lots of good comments here is popping up. Let me just check, make sure I'm not missing anything. I want you to drop any questions that you have in the chat. And I'm curious about which one of those sounds most compelling to you. Like, where do you feel like you need to start working in your business in order to create better client results? Is it setting up a framework, a path process for them to be able to get things done? Is it having milestones? So give me a number one if it's the path and framework is what you really need most in your business. Give me a number two if being able to have milestones in your client delivery process is what you most need. Give me a number three if you're like, you know what, now that you mention it, there probably are significant gaps in what my clients are supposed to do or what I'm supposed to help my clients do, and I need to know how to fill the gaps. So it is really our job to be able to teach our process in our simplest forms, to be able to coach our clients through the process so that it becomes doable, to be able to hone in your process so clients know exactly how to do it, to keep thinking of ways to be able to assist your clients in creating results. Like this is what's really, really, really important when it comes to being able to get bigger transformations for your clients so that you don't feel like you're failing, you're not delivering in some way when it comes to helping them to get results. It's really just a matter of putting these systems in place in your business that will automatically allow you to create bigger results. There were times earlier in our business where I felt like, man, I'm not sure. Like I'm a achiever, and so I feel more fulfilled when I'm helping my clients win. Right. So I will feel like not fulfilled, like, oh man, if this person isn't winning, I would feel so much pressure of like, man, I really want to help them win. Like, what things can I do to help them win? But I want you to remember that it is not your efforting, right? It is not you donating more of your time that is going to get your clients bigger success. It's you setting up the proper systems in your business that will create bigger results for your clients. All right, so I'm just checking out the chat to see if there's any questions here. Oh, hey, Delphine, so glad you're here. She says that she helps women start trucking businesses. And one early result is that they must get an authority purchase a truck and much more. So she hates it so much is happening at the same time, and it stresses you and the client. Yeah, yes. So, okay, that makes perfect sense, Delphine. So basically they're getting stuck at the, you know what? I actually have a client that was in the trucking business, and where she was getting stuck was around the insurance. So that was a big delay for her in being able to, is actually a coaching service, a transportation service. So not trucking, but coach and service. And she was getting stuck around the insurance. So I totally get that. If you are having things, if they need the authority to be able to purchase the truck before they can ever get started, and that's a big hold up in them moving forward, then you're going to get some people who like give up in the process and don't actually move forward in their business, just because they're stuck on one part of it. So I love that you've identified that. So it's really about being able to figure, what do you need to do in order to help them to get over that hurdle? Like, can you develop a partnership with the issuing body who gives out the authority? Or can you, provide some kind of step-by-step guide for the clients that have done it successfully, based on the clients who have done it successfully, that can help the other clients to do it? Oh, that's a really good one, Delphine. Okay, Levon says that the milestone markers are what she needs. Jackie says, just stopping in to say hello. Awesome. Thanks for coming in, Jackie. So glad that you're here. Okay, and Phyllis says for her, she needs to identify the gaps are the most important for her. Okay, so before we go, I want to answer any questions. So type in your questions into the chat, or if you want to unmute and ask your questions live, you absolutely can do that as well. Just make sure I'm not missing. Okay, Tamika says that the framework is big for her. And Michelle says framework for accountability, getting beyond the fear of change. Oh, I would love to hear more about that, Michelle. What are some of the things that you're worried about changing that might be holding you back from being able to create those client results, or just even growth and move forward in your business? I want to let you know about something while you get your questions typed into the chat, and you can also unmute and ask your questions live. Next week, I am hosting a brand new masterclass. Now, let me tell you, It will not, and Jovian, if you could go ahead and drop the link for anybody who wants to RSVP for it. It's a brand new free masterclass. I literally today have been putting the final touches on the presentation. I am so excited about this. I have not taught a masterclass like this in a really long time. I mean, I don't even know. Probably last year was the last time that I taught a masterclass like this. So it's brand new material that I've not shared before. I'm really excited to share with you. The masterclass is called 3 Ways to Double Revenue in Your High-End Service Business in the Next 90 Days. And so I know my community, and I know that you're thinking about, oh my gosh, it's the halfway mark of the year. How am I going to hit my goals? There's only 6 months left, 5.5 now, right? How am I still going to make this happen? And so I really want to share with you strategically how to think about it, what the levers are that you can pull in your business to be able to create bigger results. And I'll tell you this too. And if you know part of my story, you probably have heard me mention this before, but several years ago, I was working a, very, high profile corporate position as a marketing executive. And when I left that company, I needed to figure out how to and basically build my business very quickly. And I had a 6-figure salary working in my corporate job. I had to figure out how to get back to a 6-figure run rate, like get back to 6-figure earnings in my business very, very quickly. And I was able to do that in 6 months. Okay. What I'm going to share with you in this masterclass really unpacks some of those things that happen for me and the same money moves that my clients make in their businesses that allow them to create, like really amazing results. Like one of my clients was able to replace her corporate salary within 6 months of working in her business. Another one of my clients, Keela, was able to bring in 3 clients in her first 3 months in the program. Another one of my clients, Michelle, was able to bring in 3 clients in her first 3 weeks in the program. We've had clients to get on a multi 6-figure run rate within 12 months of being in the program. Like, they create great results. And I want you to know that what I'm saying here, I practice what I preach. They have a proven process for being able to do that. And so what I'm going to share with you is part of that proven process next week. So the workshop, again, the masterclass is called 3 Ways to Double Revenue in Your High-End Service Business in the Next 90 Days. And it's happening on Tuesday. So that's the 26th, July 26th, Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It will not be streamed inside of the Breadwinning Women Community. Okay, so don't be inside of the Facebook group looking, waiting for bated breath. We will not be there. We will be only on Zoom, okay? So make sure that you RSVP. Jovian, if you could just drop the link again for people to RSVP. Make sure you RSVP. If you want to participate. I am really excited about this, as you can tell, because I've been literally on it for the last several hours, like working on this presentation. It's going to be fire. Okay, so don't miss it. All right, so thanks for everybody who's been joining. Hey, Roslyn, so glad that you're here. Hey, Kisa is here. So I want to hear from you. What are some of your questions that come up around being able to create client results, or anything that that's showing up for you in your business? I'd love to take a few questions before we wrap up today's session. You can feel free to unmute and ask your questions live, or you can type it into the chat. And listen, guys, let me tell you something. First of all, I appreciate you being here. And it says a lot about you that you invest in yourself in this way, and being able to show up, get nuggets and strategies and tips that are going to help you to grow your business. But I want to tell you that I don't want you to play small. When you come to these sessions, This is literally the only time that I'm really giving quote unquote free advice. Okay. Like clients pay me significantly for support on their business. And this is an opportunity for me to be able to help you by just you raising your hand to ask a question or unmuting and ask your questions live. I love being able to support you in this way. This is why I show up and do it. So do not hesitate to ask questions during these sessions. I want to make sure that I can support you in the best way. But if we don't have any questions, then we'll wrap up a little early. But if we do, then feel free to either raise your hand and I can unmute you. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, okay. How to not be a bottleneck in delivering your service. Oh, this is a big one. So how to not be a bottleneck in delivering your service. There's a couple of things. Number one, you want to make sure that you have a cycle of service. Okay. A cycle of service is a step-by-step process for being able to deliver your service that doesn't involve you as much as possible. So that might look like being able to provide. So for example, I'll give an example. When a new client registers with us, they automatically get a client intake form. They automatically get a client agreement to fill out right away. Nobody has to stop what they're doing, manually send the client agreement, manually send the intake form, manually collect information from the clients, right? Like if they did, the clients would be waiting. They wouldn't feel as welcomed. And it would be a distraction, especially for me as a CEO in the business, if I had to stop doing strategic work on the business to be able to do things that we should have a manual system or process in place. So the most important thing that you could do is look at every step that it takes for you to deliver your service and think about how can you either automate that step or how can you get eventually, even if you're not ready right away, how can you get a supporting role that will allow you to do this? And this brings up the question around like who to hire first, right? If I think back to the early days of Daily Success Routine and when we were growing the company, the first thing that you want to do as a breadwinning woman is focus on your sales and marketing, right? Like your main job is to be bringing in clients on a regular basis. And so as you're bringing in clients, what's going to happen is you're going to get to a point where you have so much client work. Then you're going to need to be able to take care of the client work. And one of the ways that you take care of the client work is by making sure that you have someone on the administrative side that can support you in getting the client work done. So let's say if you're a brand strategist, then that might mean that you have an assistant designer who can get some of the design work done in your business. If you are a professional organizer, that means you might have an assistant organizer. If you are a coach in your business, then that might mean you have an assistant coach or a program manager or someone that can help you to make sure that you're doing the service delivery. So that's how you make sure that you're not bottlenecking in your business. Okay, Trina had a question too. What software or website can we use to create a framework that our clients can use? You actually don't even need a software for this, Trina, or a website. It's really about, it's not about a diagram necessarily as much as it is by having a step-by-step process. So what you want to think about is, let's just say, if your promise of transformation is that you are going, promise of transformation, what you're promising the client that you're going to do for them, like what they're paying for, the result that they're paying for. Let's just say that you promise that you're going to take them from a 9-to-5 job that they hate to a career that they love. That's the promise that you're making to them. What you want to say to yourself is, well, what are the steps that will allow a person to go from a 9-to-5 they hate to a career that they love? What would they need to do? So then you start thinking through that and you say, well, maybe the first thing that we need to do is look at their CV, right? They need a winning resume that is optimized for a higher paying job, a higher paying career move, right? Versus like a basic resume that's just set up for a job. So that might be one step. You're like, okay, well, everybody that I'm working with, the first step that they have to do is they have to really have a tight optimized profile for a higher paying career. So that might include their resume, that might include optimizing their LinkedIn, having keywords on there. So that would be step one. Then you're going to say to yourself, okay, well, what's step 2 for them? What's step 3 for them? What's step 4 for them? Like, you need to come up with what are the steps that they need to take. And then you need to test out those steps and make sure that they work, so that every time, so think of it like, it's like creating an assembly line in your business, right? If you were going to a car manufacturing factory, if you were going to the Tesla factory, they have a production line and they're going to run those cars through the production line and they come out looking the same every time. If you go get a McDonald's cheeseburger, hopefully nobody still eats McDonald's. Maybe you do, it's okay, but it's not that great for you. Okay, so I digress. But let's just say you get a McDonald's cheeseburger, right? No matter where you go on the planet Earth, that cheeseburger is going to taste the same. Okay, in case maybe if you're in India, they might add a little more spice to the burger than they do in the US, right? Things like that. They do have cultural nuances in different cities, but what you want to think about is how can you create your own production line, a step by step by step by step, that you're taking people through so that they can create the same results. Remember, I talked about the Dave Ramsey book, 12 Baby Steps. He's just telling you what to do. It doesn't have a pretty picture or a graphic or anything. He's just saying, step 1 is this, step 2 is this, step 3 is that. He's just giving people a process to go through. Now, you don't want to have too many steps or have it be overcomplicated, but the key, right, is you need a model and a framework that you can take people through to be ensured that they can get results. Great questions. You guys are awesome. Let me make sure I'm not missing any inside of the Facebook community. Oh, yes, Jackie said, please don't eat at McDonald's. Okay, Levon says she's also working on creating a framework for self-care. How to move past just offering tips. I want to hear more about that, Levon. Tell me what you mean. How to move past, just offering self-care tips. So same thing, right? It's thinking about the transformation. What is the result that people want? Do they want more time with their family? Do they want to feel more energized? Do they want more energy because they need energy to play with their kids and run their business and do what they need to do for their family? Like, what's the result that they're looking for? And then you want to speak to the mindset shifts that a person needs to make to get the result. So think about it this way. If you were telling a person in terms of their own self-care that, they need to work half days on Fridays, a person might say, that's impossible for me. There's no way I can do that. I have too much going on, or my job will never let me do that. Or I can never take that much time off from my business. My business needs me. I can't work half day on Fridays. So instead of giving them tips, because tips are the answer, a person is never going to do the strategy that you're teaching them if you're giving them the answer. The person is only going to do the strategy if they have the aha moment, the awakening that helps them to understand why doing it in a different way will be beneficial for them. So I want you to start thinking about, like, how can I shift their mindset when it comes to self-care, as opposed to just giving tips like, oh, you should use a skin scrub, or you should take a half day off, or you should, be doing bubble baths. Like, don't give them the answer. Give them the aha moment that helps them to get to the answer that you can provide for them, the transformation that you can provide. Oh, what an excellent question. What an excellent question. Oh, okay. Jackie says, how do I negotiate a salary or commission for a brand new internet radio company where the owners are poured into my bridal expo as well. So I'm providing marketing, social media management, and creating their website. Okay, so how do you negotiate a salary commission? So that you're providing the marketing. Yeah, I mean, you just have to say what the benefits are. So, brand new internet radio company. Oh, I got it. Okay, so you're holding a bridal expo. You want to be able to get paid by the radio company. And what you're going to provide for them is marketing, social media management, and creating their website. Okay, got it. Okay, so you have to, like, transformation is a big theme for today. You have to think about what are the results that they want to create in their business. Oh, Jackie says no. Tell me more. Or join us on Zoom, Jackie, and then I can answer you live. If that's not it, let me know. If there's something else, you can feel free to rephrase in the comments. Okay, let me check inside of the group while, oh, they're actually two separate. It's two separate. Okay, so number one is offering the commission. Tell me more. Jovianne, if you could drop the link for Jackie in case she wants to join us on Zoom, and I can answer her question live as well. I think she has a two-parter question there. Okay. Tamikia says, I'm learning to become a life coach in business as well. Love having different qualities and knowledge to help other folks and also being helped. Love it. Okay, Michelle says, handling clients, they may slow down their own transformation when following up the step-by-step plan, but you hate to leave them behind. That's a big one. Okay, handling clients that may slow down their own transformation. Okay, so this is where I'm talking about, like, what are the gaps? That's a gap. So if a client is slowing down their own transformation, there is a reason for it. There's something happening. There is a resistance that is showing up for them. And it's our jobs to identify what that resistance is. Now, I don't mean if a person is just like procrastinating, but even if they're procrastinating, it's probably for a reason. They're having resistance around doing the work. That's what I was talking about when I was saying a gap. So that's a sign that there's something that we need to fill in. That's either a point where they need additional accountability. That's a point where they need additional tools or resources, or something that is going to help them to get out of their own way. That's the work for us to figure out. Man, I constantly see my clients get stuck at this part in our journey together. And so you want to make sure that you can be able to help them to overcome getting stuck in that part of the journey. Like, that is the key. That is I'm so glad you put that in there, Michelle. That is a perfect example of identifying a gap and then figuring out, like, what's the thing that you want to do for the gap so that you can get the person out of resistance and moving forward. Okay, I think looks like Jackie is joining. Why is the Zoom moving so slow? Okay, other questions. There she is. Okay. Hi, Jackie. Oh, I think she's in. Okay, she's still connecting. Looks like she's still connecting inside. Okay, so we'll get her in just a second. Let me just double check inside of the community for any other questions. This was so good. Lisa, what about you? You hanging out over there? You have any questions today, lady?
I'm here.
Tell
Can
me.
you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly now.
Oh, good. Well, guess what?
What? What?
All right. I have been kind of following you just, over the past month or so, because I'm thinking about doing something different, something that I already talked to you about and changed my mind about, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So
Okay.
yeah. So I have definitely I already created the group and I use the Mighty Network. So
Okay.
that's it. I just did it. And I set an event August 9th, and now I've announced it, and I'm doing it.
That's
So,
awesome.
so I'm just kind of following the same baby steps that we started before. And so I'm kind of following along each week just to remind myself what to do next. So that's good. That's good. Then this is wonderful because that was what holding me back a little bit, not really having a real framework inside the community, actual steps that we're going to take. And that's what I'm going to work on doing in the next week or over the rest of the week, rather. And I'm going to have it done by Friday. It's on the calendar.
Okay, I love it. That's
All
great,
right.
Lisa. Keep
All
me
right.
posted.
Yes, so that's good. Well, I always start with, you always get 3 steps, step 1, step 2, or step 3. And so I say, I'll start with 3 and I'll fill in those steps. And I wish somebody was following me around with a camera. And then I really, somebody filming all the things that I'm doing to, to work on things, that documentation, that would be helpful. But I'm gonna just work on it myself, and I'm gonna have three steps in that framework by the end of the week. That's gonna get them to this transformation.
Okay, I love it. So good, Lisa.
Thank you.
Keep me posted. Hey, Jackie.
Hello, how are you?
Good, good. Okay, now clarify your question for me. I'm excited
Okay.
to answer.
Gotcha. And I appreciate that. So here's the situation. So a few years ago, we had a media partner that has now broken off and started their own internet radio show and company, and they are actually broadcasting in literally 130 countries. And so they're friends. They've worked with us for many years. Now they want me to come on board. I've built their website, redesign their logo. I'm doing all their social media marketing. And in the beginning of next year, God willing, I'll be actually taking over, taking over the advertising and sales as well. So I'll be taking over everything so they don't have it with 4 or 5 different people doing different things. So me and my team will do that. My question is, I guess I'm having a little bit of a hard time with telling them how much right now, because I know they're new. I know they're building their brand as well as bringing on new advertisers. How do I build them right now for my services? And then I know in the beginning of next year, it will increase in terms of revenue. So we'll increase my share as well. But I don't want to charge them like I have a law firm that I do almost the same thing for. So I charge them maybe $3,000 to $4,000 a month for all of those things. I can't do that with the radio station, 1, because they're my friends. That's why you don't do business with friends, right? And then 2, because I know they're new and they don't have it. So, but then I got to charge them something because I'm not free.
Okay, this is a good one, Jackie. Oh my gosh, everybody get ready for this. Okay, so here's the thing. It's very important that you remove yourself out of their pocketbook, because they are not doing all of this for nothing. There's things that they need to do for the business that they are finding the money to pay for it.
Got you. True.
Right? There's things that they wouldn't be where they are or have what they have if they weren't putting up some money. And all of us have had the experience at some point in our life being either counted in or counted out of an opportunity because what somebody else believed about what we had.
Oh, wow.
and it doesn't feel
Gotcha.
good, does it?
It does not. It is not. I have a follow-up meeting with them tomorrow, and it's like, you know, where am I going to be at? Where do I start at? Ugh.
You have to tell them what it costs to do business with you. You already know what it costs because you have a law firm that you're charging for doing it.
Absolutely.
Now, you can decide if you want to create some kind of deal with them. I wouldn't offer it. Let them bring it up. But you tell them what it costs to do work with you. You need to set the standard. What I do has a value. And this is the value that I charge people to do the work that you're asking. And
Gotcha.
so if they want to give you, you know, if they want to pay you $3,000 and give you $1,000 in ads a month, okay. But we can't start low and expect that to jump up 2 or 3 times. It can't be that you're starting out saying, I'm going to charge you $1,000 and then hope at some point in the future when your business can't be contingent upon theirs. Right? The mortgage company wants their money regardless of how much money you made this month.
Amen. Yeah. True.
Right? They ain't trying to hear it. The electric company either, the gas. Right? They're like, girl, how much you made this money sounds like a personal problem, right? Like, I ain't got nothing to do with that, right? They don't care. And it's no different in business. So number one, they will have respect for you and your work by you establishing a standard of like, this is what I charge my clients. This is the rate for these services. If you want to work out something with them after establishing that rate, that's totally up to you. But it needs to match the value of what you charge. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. That's why I stuck around. I knew you would put it into perspective. I appreciate that. I appreciate it.
Good. Ooh. Any follow-ups, Jackie?
No, I'm good with that. I mean, I've applied that same principle in hindsight. I've applied that same principle to the Bridal Expo because we almost gave away booths in Columbia, South Carolina. And I love that community, but it's just not a market that can benefit from what we're doing because the Bridal Expo, we have what we call the Perfect Harmony Black Bridal Expo. There is no consistent Black Bridal Expo on the market, East Coast to West Coast, North and South. This just does not exist. So the Bridal Expo brings together for networking purposes other small to medium African American business owners so they can network with one another because we need each other even across state lines. I have a designer that will travel. And then at the same time, we are bringing those services to the brides, the grooms, their wedding parties, letting them know that not only do we cater to, or our specialty is the African American community, but we also cater to the ethnic bride, the interracial couples, and just, you know, anybody who wants to get married, we're there for you. But this is our specialty. This is what we're doing. So we're helping the business owner, we're helping the, you know, individuals of that community, and we're just bridging that gap. But I had to tell my business partner, we cannot do booths at $99 or $100 or $50 or what have you, when the St. Andrews Women's Show in Columbia, South Carolina is charging $800-900 per booth and people are paying it and they're going. So we have to put value to what we're doing, exactly what you just said. And so the show that we're having in Tampa next March is going over like crazy, which is great. But we're charging a nominal fee for our services in our community that I believe that our community can actually afford. And it's just what you just said, the value of what we're providing to not only the consumer, but to the business owner is astronomically different than, or the demographic is different than what it was in Columbia. And so the value is there, and that's what we're doing. So I've got to put the same principle to this business meeting that I'm going to have tomorrow for this radio station. And again, I got to take the friendship element out of it because this is me working. This is me designing and creating and putting them on the map as well with my contacts. And so
Yeah, but
exactly
not
what
even
you
the
said.
friendship element though, Jackie. Sorry to interject, but not even
Oh, no,
the
good.
friendship element. It's about the counting people's money element,
Yeah,
right? Like that's what we don't want to do. We don't want to count their money because people will find money for things that they want to invest in.
absolutely.
Like it cracks me up that people will spend like $500 on a hair weave. Now, I ain't got nothing against a hair weave, but spending $500 on it to me sounds insane.
I have a boutique, and I have an unauthorized authorized dealer's license for a Louis Vuitton, and those bags are, 1,000, 1,500 and
Right?
up,
People
and I've
spend
got
it,
clients for it.
right? They spend it on the bags, the red bottoms. People spend the money on the things that they want to spend it on. So
Absolutely.
we have to stop, and this is very important, especially in Black community, especially in communities of color in general, like assuming that we don't have money because we do. We are the largest consumers in the US. The freaking
Yes.
economy wouldn't work if Black people wasn't spending their money. It would not. It would not. Like you want a recession? Tell some Black people to stop spending their money. The whole economy was shut down, right? For real. So
Absolutely.
it is not true that we don't have the money to spend. We absolutely do. And there are tons of the people that are in community of colors and Black women and otherwise that we will invest in the things that we want to invest in. And so I just want you to always be thinking in terms of value for value. Everything is always in exchange for value. We're not just doing things for nothing, right? It's like you have a value for your work. And if you're setting that value at $4,000, then they need to match that value. And they can match it in cash. They can match it in part cash. They can match it in average, high-end ads that would allow you to get an additional 1,000. Like they can come up, but it's like value for value. So if you're giving them $4,000 worth of value, how are they compensating you with $4,000 worth of value? So,
Gotcha.
so don't do things for nothing. I don't
no.
believe in something for nothing. Everything is value for value because people will not respect what you're doing if you do not put a value to it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I
You're
appreciate
so welcome,
you,
Jackie.
as
Thanks for your
always.
brilliant question.
No worries. Take care.
All right, take care. All right, we did it, ladies. So thank you for showing up for Breadwinning Wednesday. We're going to be back here next Wednesday at 6 p.m. for another Breadwinning Wednesday. Look out tomorrow inside of the Facebook community for the announcement of next week's topic. If you don't already, at the top banner inside of our Facebook community, and in fact, I prefer that you just join me on Zoom because I may not even be streaming inside of the Facebook community much longer because of the algorithm is so insanely wacky. But for now, on the there's the big banner at the top, which has the group name and everything on it. Next to the banner, on the right-hand side is a little bell that you can hit, which will turn notifications on inside of the community to make sure that you don't miss when we're doing these live trainings and sessions and the workshops and all the cool things that we have going on inside of the community. And then make sure that you sign up. Joanne, if you could just drop the link again, make sure that you sign up for the masterclass that we are hosting next week. It's going to be juicy. It's happening on Tuesday, the 26th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Time, 3 ways to double revenue in your high-end service business in the next 90 days. There's only 5.5 months in this year, and you want to be making the right money moves in order to have the results that you want before the year is out. All right, that's it for this week's Breadwinning Wednesday. Don't just learn and consume the information. Go out and take action and create the breadwinning life that you desire and you deserve. I'll see you next week.